Hello and welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, do ask them in the live comments of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage with it and I'll reveal the results at the end. So I'm Kim Arnold. I'm a marketing, branding, and communication consultant. I'm also a small business owner myself. And when it comes to the subject of selling, well, I've got a lot of personal experience as well as helping clients. I'm also author of the book Email Attraction, Get What You Want Every Time You Hit Send. The link is in the comments if you want to take a look, and it's all about how to write emails that make people jump into action, something we all need these days now that we're working remotely. So we are going to talk about selling. And what do you feel when you hear the word selling? Does it get the juices flowing? Do you get excited? Does your heart rate go up? Or do you start to cringe a little? Does it make you feel a bit awkward and a bit icky? Is it something that you really dread doing? You know, you started your business because you wanted to do what you wanted to do, but actually selling is one of the really horrible side effects of it. So let me tell you a little story because I think there's some myth busting to be done. So the other day I went to buy a pair of jeans. And I decided to go to a big department store. And I walked in and my heart sank because there were about 400 pairs of jeans in front of me. There were light blue, dark blue, mid blue, black, white, all different sizes, shapes, cuts. Oh. And the shop assistant walked up to me and she said, can I help you? And I said, yeah. I told her what I was looking for. She walked up to this enormous wall of jeans and she pulled out one pair. She gave them to me. She said, try these on. They were perfect. They were the best jeans I've ever put on in my life. And the whole buying experience lasted around 7 minutes. It was a joy. And I came away the happiest customer in the world. Because here's the thing, it is a myth that we don't like being sold to. But we don't like being sold things that we don't want or need. And that tends to be how we think of sales, isn't it? That it's about trying to flog people stuff that they're not really interested in. But that's just bad selling. Pushy sales is bad selling. Good selling is just about helping. And we all want to help people, don't we? We all want to help our clients, our customers find solutions to our problems. It makes us feel good. So if we try and reframe this in our minds, this isn't about being a used car salesman or using underhand techniques. If selling is just helping, then hopefully it's something we can all get a bit more comfortable with. So now our heads are in the right space, we're thinking about sales in a more positive manner. What can we do in practice? Well, I've got 3 tips for you to help you do sales in a way that might feel a bit more comfortable and give you a bit more confidence. So the first tip I have for you is conversation, not monologue. One of the biggest fears we have about sales is that, oh gosh, I've got to do a sales pitch. I think Dragon's Den has got a lot to answer for. You know, we all feel like maybe we should stand up and deliver our spiel about our business or about our product or our service. But actually, most clients don't want to be on the receiving end of that. They don't want to feel like they've been slapped around the face by a sales brochure. Actually, what you want is a conversation between equals, not the sort of master and servant, the client and the vendor. So to do that, we need to ask questions. We need to think about what we want to ask before a meeting so that we can really listen. Great salespeople really listen more than they talk. So questions such as, what's the biggest thing you're being tasked with right now? How have you tried to solve this problem in the past? And why do you think it didn't work? What do your stakeholders think about this? What do you stand to lose if this doesn't get fixed? if I could wave a magic wand, what would happen? So all of these kinds of questions are really great to start to get your conversation flowing, and really listen to those answers. Dig a bit deeper. Ask why continuously. Get your client to really open up to you. And then it doesn't really feel like selling. It just feels like having a great conversation. And of course, all of this builds trust. You show interest in their business, and it's not really all about you. And when the pressure comes off you, and instead all the focus is on your client, then it can feel much easier all round. So that's my first tip for you. Conversation, not monologue. My second tip for you is the show home technique. Let me explain a bit more about this. So if you're going to buy a new home, a new apartment or a new house, often they have the show home, don't they? So that's the house that the developers have fitted out completely. They've had interior designers in to choose beautiful curtains and cushions, and they've made it just so. And developers really pour a lot of time and effort and money into these show homes because they know how persuasive they are in that buying process. Because otherwise we just walk into a white empty box and we can't imagine ourselves living in that house. Whereas when we walk into one that's fully furnished, we think, oh, I could imagine myself living here. And if I lived here, I would have this aspirational lifestyle. I wouldn't sit on the sofa eating my Cheerios in the morning on my lap. No, if I lived in this house, I would sit on this beautiful Italian leather bar stool, sipping my espresso and leafing through Vogue Italia. So giving people a vision of the future, a little glimpse into what the new world might look for them after they've worked with you or bought your product or bought your service. Giving them this view of the new world is so important. So putting that into practice, how do you do that when you're talking to clients? So in meetings, that is painting that picture. And the magic wand question that I referred to earlier is a really great one, because you can actually encourage the client to think about what their ideal future is. And then you can build on that. After using this service, you will be able to do this differently. You will be able to feel like this. You will be able to do things that you couldn't do before. And then you can also take that across all of the things that you do. So titles of your presentations, for example, quite often we might call it Introduction to Megacore, which really doesn't convey any excitement, does it? It's all about us and not really about the client. So instead, think about, what's the benefit going to be for them afterwards? Could it be save $100,000 overnight? Wow, that's a more exciting title, isn't it? That's going to get the juices flowing. Or, for example, if you are doing a proposal, instead of putting our recruitment software solutions package, you might want to call it Get Better Talent Faster. So always thinking about this ideal vision of the future and how it can help your clients, and painting that picture is so useful. So we've had conversation, not monologue. We've had the show home technique. And my final tip for you today is around the crazy wall. So this is one of my favorite things to encourage my clients to do. And I do it myself in my own business. And it really is to target some of the mistakes that people make. Because what we tend to do in sales is feel like we need to go out to cold clients, so people that we don't know, and we put lots of time and effort into that, but we ignore all the warm contacts really just sitting there under our very noses. So what we need to do is be much more methodical and thorough about who we know already, and looking at our network to see who we can mine already. So I suggest doing a crazy wall. And the name comes from detective shows when the detective is trying to hunt the serial killer, and they put a big sort of map on a wall of all the different suspects, and then they put bits of string linking all of them. And I suggest that you do something similar with your network of contacts that you know already. So that might be friends, family, people that you've worked with already, partners, people down the gym, everyone that you know. Put it all out on your crazy wall and think about how you can make connections. How do they know each other? Who do they know that might be useful to you? And getting a really great idea of your network and starting to contact those people first before you go out cold is so important. So that was my third tip for you, the crazy wall. I hope that's been helpful to make you feel a bit more excited about selling, and I'll find out in the poll later. So now I'm going to answer some of your questions here. We've got Jade on Instagram saying, I'm not sure I understand what marketers mean when they say we should segment our audience and speak to them differently. Can you explain? Yes, Jade. Well, this is thinking about your different types of client that you might be marketing to. So, for example, some of my clients are coaches, and they target HR departments within large corporates, but they also target people one-to-one. So when they're talking to HR departments, they might want to talk about the benefits to the organization. So, build a team of leaders in your organization, retain talent, save time and effort, have higher performing teams. But when they're talking to individuals, the message might be more around, get your next promotion, get a pay rise, get your dream job. So we need to, when marketers talk about segmenting audience, they're talking about this. When you're talking to a certain segment, you need to be sure that your messaging connects with them, and also your marketing strategies connect with them. So are you trying to connect with HR directors? That might be LinkedIn, but if you're targeting some people directly, that might be more on Instagram. So different messaging and different marketing strategies. I hope that helps, Jade. So what have we got next? Daisy on Facebook Messenger. Hey, Kim, totally agree with what you're saying. I'm totally comfortable doing the small talk bit, but it's getting to the sales that I mess up. How do you transition from soft messaging to harder messaging without being pushy? Brilliant question, Daisy. Yes, we choke a bit, don't we? We've had this nice kind of chat, and we feel like we're getting along with people, and then we kind of choke. We don't make that conversion into the sale, because we worry about feeling pushy at that point. So what we can do is ask what we call bridge questions. So something very gentle like, okay, is that something that you think you need help with? Some of my other clients have found that this is helpful. Do you think that would help you too? What's your timeline on this? And it also might be, can I introduce you to someone who might help? I can send you an article that might help if you don't think that you can help directly. But again, this word helping is a really nice one. It's not necessarily, do you want to buy my service? Do you want to buy my product? But asking, is this something we can help with? Should we book in a follow-up conversation to dig down into this into some more detail? Really what you're looking for is a next step. You're not necessarily looking for the final step, but you're just looking to move that conversation forward as much as you possibly can. Rebecca on Twitter, hello. Any advice on the questions we should be asking our potential customers to solicit the sort of responses we need to inform our marketing? Oh, good question there. So what do we need to ask to be able to make sure that our marketing is on point? Well, I think a lot of it is around pain points. It is around what is driving you crazy right now. What keeps you up at night? What is, what do you fear? What would you love to happen? The magic wand one is a really great one because it shows you, what people are aiming for. What do you stand to lose if you don't get this right? So we're understanding what loss aversion might look like, because loss aversion is often a much bigger motivator than a benefit. We're worried about, we want to avoid catastrophe more than we want to build something really fantastic. So a lot of the questions that I talked about earlier in my tips, all really useful, but digging down into those pain points, finding what the loss aversion is and what their ideal future might look like. Those are the kind of questions that really help you get your marketing on point. So Karen on Instagram, love the showroom idea, but how do you apply that theory to industries that you can't see well, like digital services? For example, I run an SEO consultancy firm. So often we're deep in data and not telling a story like that. Oh, great question. You can absolutely use this technique. So if this was for SEO, what are they going to get when you have, optimized all of their SEO? Are they going to get 5 new prospects in a day? Are their inbox is going to be so full of inquiries that they're not going to be able to move? Or are they going to get peace of mind knowing that the competition isn't going to be constantly one-upping them online and getting all of their leads? What is that end result that they're going to get? Because really customers, they're not interested in the process. They don't really care what you do. They care about what happens afterwards. So the result, the outcome. So giving that feeling, you'll feel relieved that you get a steady stream of clients coming in. Imagine that you open up your inbox and most days you find a new lead from a client. How great will that feel? So giving them that picture of the future, I hope that helps, Karen. Brandon is asking, I totally get why you would start with your own network first, but I actually find that more cringy than going out to strangers. What do you think is the best way to approach the topic of business with friends and former colleagues? Yes, that can be the case, Brandon, can't it? That actually we worry a little bit, what will people think of me? Oh, are they going to feel that I'm being pushy and trying to sell to them? Asking for help is one of the most open and honest things you can do. And you'll be very surprised at how open people are when you ask that question. So don't necessarily set every conversation up as, I want to sell you something. You can set it up with, look, I would love your help. It'd be great if I could just pick your brain. I'm looking to expand my business. I'm looking to get into this kind of client area or this industry. I'd love to, pick your brains. And in return, can I do something for you? So keep it very casual, very informal. Can I buy you a coffee? Can we do it over lunch? Keep it as informal as possible. This is a chat. This is a conversation. It's not a sales pitch. I hope that helps. Daniel is asking, building an email list has been much harder than I imagined. Is it worth buying data to help grow our reach, or is it just a scam? Oh, it's a tricky one, Daniel. It really depends on the quality of the list. But in general, organic growth is much easier, and it does take time to build email lists for sure. That is a tricky one, and obviously you have to be very careful of data protection when you are buying lists and making sure that it's all reputable. But it's a tricky one, and it does absolutely take time. Melinda on Facebook Messenger, you're asking, I love the idea of showing people how our services can help and approaching it that way. But when you have a bit of a complicated proposition, how do we simplify it so we're communicating the benefits and they're clear? Yes. A lot of my clients have very complex businesses with that aren't very sort of easily explained. It's not like you're trying to sell, I don't know, a pair of glasses or something. It is much more complicated. So we do need to focus on the client. This isn't really about you. When you focus on the benefits rather than the features, I'm sure you've been told that before, but it's a really sound piece of advice, particularly when we have complex businesses, tech. We often focus on the features or the process, and clients aren't really interested in that. So focusing on the outcomes, what will happen afterwards, how will you change clients' lives is incredibly important. And simplifying, there's a really great technique in a book called, I think it's called Letting Go of the Words by Ginny Reddish. And she calls it bite, snack, meal, which I think is brilliant. And that's all about how you do a really hard-hitting headline. So that is your main point. And then you can go into the snack, which is a bit more information. And then you can go into a whole meal. So that's the detail of what you're trying to get across. So bite, snack, meal, that's quite a good technique to use. Right, I think we've got time for some more. Let me see here. Solomon from Instagram, you are saying, my business works primarily within B2B tech, specifically recruitment solutions. How can I apply what you've said here today to B2B business, B2B marketing? All of this is absolutely applicable. Everything that I've said. So the conversation, not monologue, the crazy wall idea is particularly good in B2B, and also the show home technique. All of those can be applied. This isn't just a B2C approach. In fact, most of my clients are B2B. So you can absolutely apply all of it. Kelly on Facebook Messenger is asking, cold calling feels like it's become frowned upon these days, but I know it'd be a really useful way to bring in new customers. Once we've got someone's attention on the phone, it's usually an easy win. Should I even be considering this in 2022, or is it a dead practice? Great question. Actually, one of my clients, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, said that they used cold calling, and I was very dismissive of it. And I was like, oh, no one does this anymore. The conversion rates are so low. Why would you want to do that? And actually, they had quite good success from it. And I'm hearing more and more that cold calling can really cut through all of the noise, because we are online so much. Email marketing, which I still really believe in, I think is a great tool in your arsenal. But it does get harder to get your emails opened and read these days, when we're just all suffering from email overwhelm. And trying to get hold of clients on the phone can actually be quite successful. So I certainly wouldn't dismiss it. Give it a go. There are some clients of mine who have a really great response from cold calling. So give it a go. Make sure you measure. Look at what those conversations are, be quite methodical about it, gather the data, maybe give it 3 to 6 months, and then have a look back and see how you're getting on. Sonia on Twitter, I've recently set up as a dog groomer. Could setting up a blog help to promote my business? Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it really depends who your target audience is. So really think about who it is that you're speaking to. You might want to look at, blogs obviously go out to the Twitter sphere, to absolutely everyone. But you might want to actually look at your local area as well. So thinking about, local Facebook groups, online, physical locations as well, your library, other places you can advertise in as well. Because we tend to, in the world of social media and blogging and digital stuff, sometimes we overlook some of the sort of old school leafleting, all of that good stuff that we can put into the mix as well. So try a few different things, be really methodical, look at the results, give each one 3 to 6 months, because generally that's how long marketing tactics take to work, and then revisit, but also look at what's in your immediate vicinity. Khadija on Facebook Messenger: I run a small restaurant that went delivery through lockdown, and now we operate both. I want to encourage some of our customers we gained on delivery to visit the restaurant. Any tips on how can I incentivize them over email? Certainly discount vouchers might work for you. Giving people a timed discount. You might want to put on certain nights. Ask people, you could get them involved. So do a little survey around, do they want a themed night, something like that. Post pictures of the restaurant itself, show a bit of ambience, show your restaurant full as well, a bit of social proof. Oh, look, that looks busy, I'd like to go as well. Give them a picture and a feeling and start a conversation, get them involved. Arturo on Instagram: I'm just starting my business but don't have any marketing experience. What is the best way of starting to advertise it? Do I need to hire someone to do the marketing or design the ads? Oh, it's a bit of a big question, Arturo. And I definitely need some more information to answer that about the type of business. Generally, I would say start off doing marketing yourself, because I think it will get a feel for how you do it, and also, cost-wise, it's going to keep your costs down. But think about maybe doing a marketing course to learn the basics. There's lots of really great stuff out there. A lot of stuff for free as well. So get yourself up to speed, and then you might want to bring someone in down the line. And just finally here, Satifa on Facebook Messenger: inherited quite a complicated CRM journey with that's customer relationship management, for those of you who don't know, journey with several different types of newsletters and audience segments. Any advice on how to simplify this journey? Currently sending 3 emails a week, which I think is too much. Oh my goodness, yes. Think about what the golden thread might be across your audiences, and see if you can bring them together, at least for some of your marketing, so that you can rinse and repeat and you're not doing too much segmentation. So golden thread: is there a similar message? Is there something that they're all interested in, a worldview that they share, something that they're all passionate about? And then you can simplify all of that. I hope that helps. There's been some really fantastic questions today. Well done, everyone, for sending those in. I know that it's a complicated, marketing and sales are such a complicated thing to approach when you're new to them. So I hope this has really helped. So now we have the poll results in. So do you enjoy selling? This is making me laugh. None of you said yes. I can't believe it. None of you, not even 1%. 20% of you said sometimes, and a whopping 80% of you answered no. Wow. Well, I do hope that some of these tips today are going to make you feel a bit more confident about selling. Remember that selling is helping, and it's all about having conversations. It's not about flogging people stuff that they don't need. I hope you feel more confident. So thank you all for tuning in. If you want to get in contact, you can reach out to me via my website at kimarnold.co.uk. That's kimarnold.co.uk. Coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is multi-brand franchisor and co-founder of Grow Global, Sean Goldsmith. Tune in to get strategic planning and franchising advice. A reminder that if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. I really enjoyed answering your questions this morning. Have a great day.